Hello. Thank you very much for this opportunity that you are giving me to give more details about the profession that I am doing. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Maria Kolida, and I am a translator. I would like to give you an insight of a profession that I have chosen, and I think that it has chosen me back, to be honest. As I think that it is really important for the students that might hear us at some point to have this opportunity as well in order to define what they will do in their future professional life. As a translator, I think that most people understand what this profession is about. They think that all translators might do is take one text from one language and convert it in another. I think that this is what most people believe that a translator is doing, and pretty much I think that this covers it. But of course, we have to understand that this is just the main and the core task that the translator is doing. Of course, we have to go deeper and we have to see how a translator is trying to convey a text from one language, the source language, as we say, to the target language. Apart from having deep knowledge of both languages, and this is a critical part that I want to mention, that it's not only that we need to know the target language. For me, it's important to have mastered both languages that you are having in order to proceed. So for me, this is what actually guided me in order to choose this profession, because even before my studies, I think that speaking and writing in other languages was something that I had easily come for me. So I wanted to investigate it more and go deeper. And this is why, apart from going into teaching of a language, I wanted to see my other options. So I found translation as another path of linguistics, and this is the generic umbrella. And this is what I suggest the students to do. Under a core umbrella of professions, you might find something that interests you. So you should pursue that. And I think that this will lead to professional and personal success, not only in your profession, but in your personal life as well. Let me get back to what in translation we are doing. So you can understand that the translation gets hired to take written materials in one language and reproduce them in another. The goal is to create a translation of the text that it's accurate and reads the same way as the original text. So this actually is really a challenge. So this involves maintaining a document style, structure, and tone, and interpreting cultural references, expressions, or even slang. So translators overread a work in a language they speak fluently and convert it into their native, as I mentioned before. What I really want to point out as a requirement for a translator's job is that it includes a lot of research. So a translator must first read the text, whether it is a medical text or a law text, and then you have to be interested in research, because you will have to cover various fields in order to discover the background of the text that you need to translate into another language. So you need to be constantly be updated of new emerging and current trends. So this needs a lot of effort on behalf of the translator. And as I go to the part that what this profession requires, I would like to emphasize that, of course, hard skills, a degree, or extra seminars, as I did in my case, in order to be as more professional in this profession that I have chosen, of course, are mandatory and are really critical. But I would like to mention that all it takes from a successful translator is not only mastering these two languages and being able to replace the words from one of those languages with words from another. Because in fact, let me tell you that there are plenty more skills that you need to master if you want to be a kind of translator who gets called first. And that means being competitive in your field. There are obvious skills involved in being a good translator. As we mentioned, the excellent command of the two languages, the extensive cultural knowledge in both languages, but also basic software skills and the knowledge of the CAT tools. I think that it's really important, and I think that we will have to go back at this point at some point in our discussion. But I would like to say that apart from the hard skills, the soft skills, the flexible skills, as we might say them, are really important. And as they indicate, the individual's ability to work with others, grow within a company, build relationships with customers, and of course, solve any problems that might arise. So it is important to mention that in my case, what I believe are the important soft skills that a translator should have and should maybe master while he's progressing in this profession. Speaking from my experience and from the years that I am working in this profession, I think that it's really important, of course, to have attention to detail. It is important to visualize the big picture and have a better idea of what the result might look like, and then maintaining attention to detail that helps increase productivity and that is really important, and reduce your errors that needs, of course, a translator to be flawless. For my case, it was important to have organizational skills because it is important to be focused on the different tasks that you have and use your time, your energy, your strength, your mental capacity in a way that is most effective as possible. And what I found important and challenging at the same time is self-motivation, because it is needed to drive myself in order to keep going, even when I had to face some setbacks and so commitment to what I'm doing. So I think that it was really important. Of course, I should mention the communication skills. If either you are a freelancer or you're working in a company or in any framework, I think that you need to be adaptable and practice your listening skills in order to communicate better with your team or with your clients. So I think it is important to be able to resolve any conflict that might arise. So I will all these mention them under the umbrella of the communication skills. What I would really like to now mention and point out to any student that is interested in this profession is that there are challenging periods where, of course, you need to decide where you're going and how you are progressing in your profession. For me, as a professional for, let's say, around 15 years, I have tried being both a freelancer translator and working under an agency. So you can understand that I have tasted both frameworks, and of course, each framework has its advantages and disadvantages, as in any profession. I think that this is quite normal. But at some point, I had to choose where I was going and what I would really like to do. And from my experience and from my path, I would like to share the following, that apart from staying in of these frameworks that I just described, I wanted something else. And being in this crossroad, I thought I didn't have to choose. And I decided to, let's say, go outside of the box and see my other options, because I didn't want to do the one or the other, or even both at sometimes, because a translator might do both options. I actually wanted to cultivate some other skills that I had, and I wanted to master them, to be honest. So in an agency that I was working, I wanted to explore the position of the project manager of the translator tasks. So in order to describe it better for you, when the assignments come, there is a person on the agency that handles the time frames, of course, the costs, and assigns those tasks to translators that might be freelancers or they are working permanently on the agency. And of course, monitors the whole procedures, follow-ups with the translators and the client, and let's say works as a bridge between the clientele and the translators that are providing the final deliverables. So apart from being a translator, I wanted to explore other options, and I combined my skills, both hard and soft skills, in order to find another position within the field that I knew, cooperating with people that are doing exactly what I know they are doing. And I think that this helped me, because this didn't narrow my options, as I wanted my options to be broadened. I pursue something different, of course, as I mentioned, within the same scope. And right now, as I described, I'm working in a translation agency as I worked before, but having another position where I'm handling the clientele and the translator and working as a bridge between them, covering all needs and, of course, managing problems that might arise. I think that this was quite challenging for me, but I want to give more options to your students. To think outside the box. They can do what they want, they can do what they love, but they can pursue more. They can pursue other paths. There are other paths out there, and they need to observe. They need to take any chance they are given when it is given to them. And I think that it is important to pay attention, because you never know when a chance might be given to you. So it is important to know how to proceed. And of course, utilize whatever skills they require in order to be as more professional in the profession that they have chosen. I think that these are my points and my experience from being a translator, and I hope that everyone can be assisted by these details, and I hope that you are covered from what you are intended to do in your project. It was really nice for me to have this opportunity to describe what I am doing and how I am doing it for these past 15 years. And thank you very much.